What's up, big baller shot callers, sports fans? Welcome from the grid to the rim sports talk show. I'm Big Ken, joined by my co-host Monty Brown. What's up,
Hey,
Monty?
what's up? What's up? What's up?
Woo, man! Another absolutely crazy weekend in college and NFL. Crazy
Mm.
craziness surrounding John Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines. They have a big win against Penn State, which we'll get into later. You know, UW survives Utah. All kinds of game-winning field goal kicks. You know, in the NFL this week, I think they almost set a record of making like 4 or 5 game-winning field goal kicks this weekend.
Yes.
Of course, the last game Monday night it had to end the same way, so we could talk about that too. How crazy that was, penalty, and then they re-kick it. So
Hmm.
then the dude makes it. So yeah, a lot of craziness this weekend with college and NFL. But the biggest thing going on, you can see me wearing my Michigan gear,
Oh man.
is
Wow.
is John Harbaugh, Michigan. What's your take on this whole situation? I know my take, but I want to hear your take first.
Yeah, man. As soon as I heard Saturday, I guess it was Saturday morning, heading to work, that the Big Ten was looking at possibly suspending Harbaugh. We didn't know for how long, and man, we've been talking about it for the past couple of weeks now. That
Yeah,
I personally, I didn't think anything would come of it, and I don't. If I'm mistaken, I don't think you did either. And man, next thing I know, I see that they decide to suspend him for the next 3 regular season games. I'm like, what? What's going on here? I mean, there's something about this doggone rule, man. It's way outdated. I mean, I'm sure every single team's doing this. Well, not every single team. I'm sure most teams are doing it. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make it right, but it's outdated. It's the sign stealing and scouting, which you can't scout. I found this out that you couldn't go to opposite universities of scouts since 1994. That's been in place. That's been in place for a while, which is the stupidest thing I ever heard.
yeah.
So,
Doesn't matter how you scout.
yeah. About the science stealing thing, the way to just get rid of this whole thing, and I know the NCAA wants to separate themselves from the NFL. Just go ahead with the speakers in the helmet. Just do it, and it'll eliminate all that. But yeah. As you can see at how Michigan played, they rallied behind it. I believe Harbaugh called Michigan America's team right now because everybody's rolling behind them, and I agree. I mean, people disagree with this rule, and they may do something about it. They may not. I don't know, but I don't know if there's any proof behind it. His brother said today that there is really no proof behind it. They couldn't find anything. They checked his laptop. They checked everything. Couldn't find nothing. So I think they'll win the rest of these games. They'll have a tough one against Ohio State. We know that. They shouldn't have any problems with Maryland this week. They should blow them out. But I'm going to rally behind them. I mean, I don't like this rule. I think they're doing them dirty. I think they're doing them wrong. So I'm pulling for them. I hope they do well. Like I said before, I don't have a dog in the fight. Not a fan of Michigan. I'm not a hater of Michigan. Depends on who they play. But I don't like this. What's right is right. And it's a witch hunt. That's what I think.
Yeah, it is a witch hunt. You know how I think about Harbaugh too. Do I think he's a great coach? Yeah, but I'm not crazy about certain things about him, like we mentioned in week 0, week 1, when he got internally suspended by Michigan because of the recruiting violation with the no contact rule. He did deserve that one, but he definitely
Yes.
does not deserve this. But he deserved the first one, and Michigan did their own thing before the NCAA got a hold of it, and they did the right thing, and he sat out his 3 games and he came back. But even
Hmm.
though I'm not crazy about Harbaugh, I do think he's a great coach. I respect him. I wish he would win some more bowl games. That's my big nemesis on him. If he does that, he'll turn me around. If he can start winning some big games, I'll be a big fan of his. But he definitely does not deserve this. And the craziest thing about it is it's not even the freaking NCAA dude. It's his own Big Ten commissioner, and they haven't even finished the investigation.
Yes.
That's why there's a crying out for support on Harbaugh, because you're not even done with the investigation yet. You've already suspended him. It usually doesn't work like that. You usually suspend someone after you found the proof. So it's kind of like weird. And then my dad sent me all the links. I think I forwarded you a couple of them where
Hmm.
we all know the Rutgers started after the Michigan beat Rutgers in the middle of the season. But then what my dad is sending me is he thinks Ohio State and Penn State have jumped on this bandwagon. And I was reading one of his reports that he sent me where the Ohio State and definitely Ohio State for sure, but I think even the Penn State coach, I don't mind Penn State coach. He seems okay to me, but I'm not surprised about Ohio State. But that
Yeah,
they
the
were like,
rivals.
they
Of course
were
they're gonna
urging
jump
the
in.
commissioner to do something about it,
Right.
and it's just like, so they're kind of like egging this on. They may have not started it, but they jumped on the bandwagon on this thing, and it's like, what are you talking about? It's so hypocritical. Like you said, they're probably doing the same thing, and it's a dumb rule. And we already mentioned it's not like baseball where
Right.
sign stealing in baseball is a big deal because that makes a real difference between winning and losing games if you know what pitch is coming. But in football,
Right.
you can get like even Deion Sanders and other coaches have said, like I can give the team my whole entire playbook. They can give me theirs, but you still got to stop it because there's so much
Still
more
gotta stop it.
physicality in
Mm-hmm.
football. You can know what's coming, but you have to be able to get out there, stop it, and have the athletic ability, and also just have the mental ability and
There you go.
physicality and the you gotta be good enough to stop it, So that's why it doesn't really make a difference in football, man. Like I'm running right all game. I'm running right, but let's see if you can stop it,
Right.
So I don't know, man. I didn't like the way Michigan called the second half. I guess they did that to make a statement. I thought they should have thrown it a couple times. I'm really happy Michigan won, but I didn't like them being conservative because it kept, in my opinion, it kind of kept Penn State hanging around, and they had a bunch of chances to get close because Michigan was punting a lot, but then they got that late touchdown on the turnover by Penn State. So, and that opened the game up, but I didn't like the conservative play calling, but I know they were trying to make a point, but they have JJ McCarthy. They had a clear advantage at quarterback, and I think they should have used that more, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, I do think Harbaugh is definitely being screwed over, and I am supporting him 100%. And like I said a few minutes ago, if Harbaugh can win some bowl games, it doesn't necessarily have to be a national championship or semifinal bowl game. If he gets win any kind of big bowl game against a really good team a couple times and not lose 6 in a row, like I'll be all about him because he has changed Michigan's program around. They believe in themselves. They're really tight knit, which I like that. I like how close they are. You can tell they have the support for each other even before the whole Harbaugh thing. I mean, they just seem like they're connected, man. So, and he's done that, so you have to give him credit for that. So yeah, but I just want Harbaugh to win some more big games, and they got the Ohio State thing figured out the past couple of years, but just a bowl game after that. So he got over the hump with Ohio State. Now he needs to get over the hump with a big bowl game win. So we'll see. Let's get into some other games. UW survived Utah. They shut them out in the second half. They were losing 28-24 at halftime, but then they won 35-24. So their defense was horrible in the first half. But the second half, they balled out. They figured something out at halftime, and they balled out. They should have won by more, but that freaking Husky defender drops the ball at the 2-yard line, but then they get a safety, like a play later. I'm like, what are you doing? I wasn't watching the game because I was doing a Pee Wee championship game, but I saw it on the Sports Center. I'm like, oh my God. But I'm just glad that didn't cost them the game because it was still close at that point, but they got the safety. So that was good. So
yeah, that's one of the games I wish I could have saw myself. Like we talked about last week, two opposite teams. Well, just about everybody's the opposite of Utah. They're that good, power, physical team, but they're good. They're one of the best in the nation. I would have loved to have seen this game, but yeah, like how Washington was able to pull it out. I'm not a big fan of Utah, but yeah, this is a game I wish I could have watched.
Yeah, this puts Michael Penix up there for the Heisman, because he's still undefeated. Like I think he's the front runner, man.
Yeah. Right now he's got to be. Yeah, easy.
Daniels is doing really good too for LSU, but the problem is they got 3 losses. But he's so good. The problem is their defense is horrible, which we already alluded to, and that's hurting him for the Heisman probably. But Penix is still UW's still undefeated, so I think Penix is definitely in the running, and maybe the Florida State guy is still there because they're still undefeated also, and they're ranked number 4. They're in the college football playoffs as of now. So, yeah, Jordan Travis is up there too. I think they're the 2 front runners. So, Michigan McCarthy could be up there, but the problem is he didn't throw the ball last game, but they're undefeated also. McCarthy's in the mix, but he only threw the ball 9 times, like we already said. He has to do more. I mean, it's not his fault, but yeah, he didn't, complete any touchdown passes or anything like that. So It's all good. It's all good though. But McCarthy's a good player. Georgia blew out Ole Miss. That was impressive. We're talking about all year long how Georgia hasn't been dominant, but this game they were dominant. They showed up big time in this game.
Hey, I know why they were listening to us and got tired of us hearing us
Yeah.
saying that they're not the same.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah,
Dude.
Top 10 team. What was
they played
that
like
was a
Georgia.
Top 10 team. It wasn't against some like average team, like a middle of the pack team in the SEC. Like, you know, it was a top 10 team.
Yeah.
That was impressive. I thought we both picked Missouri to win, but I didn't think they would blow out Tennessee. But they beat the brakes off Tennessee, 36-7. They just kicked their butts.
For sure, I thought that would be close, just like you thought it would be close. But after giving Georgia all they can handle, they're rolling, and I expect them to roll the rest of the season.
Absolutely.
So,
they look good. They look real good.
I'm going to be watching.
Yeah, they look real good. Yeah, they're surprising this year. I know they're always kind of decent in basketball, but they haven't really done much in football lately. But they got a really good football team this year.
Yes,
they're surprising. Oregon beat USC 36-27. We knew that. I think old boy is just sick and tired of being at USC. He probably wishes he already went to the NFL. So, yeah, a reigning Heisman Trophy winner. I saw him just being frustrated because he knows the defense can't stop him. He looked really frustrated in that Oregon game. Very frustrated.
And to your point, what we've been talking about, you just mentioned it. USC's defense. Didn't they fire their defensive coordinator, one of their defensive coaches?
They have an interim right now. Big Nolan guy.
Yeah, I think it's too little, too late. But I mean, USC, they're going to go to a bowl game. I mean, they've been out of the running for a national championship for 2 or 3 weeks now because of that defense. I mean, they can score points, as you can see. I mean, 27 points is still losing, allowing 36 points. Yeah, it's against Oregon. I mean, Oregon scores 30 on everybody, but USC has been letting teams score on them all season with that defense.
They've been losing games where they're scoring 40 plus points and they're losing like 50-45 and 45-42 and 48. I mean, it's crazy. They have no defense.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, I know Caleb Williams can't wait to get up out of there. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, he came back for one more year to see what they can do this year because him and Lincoln Riley followed each other from Oklahoma, and I think he was trying to give it one more year and just hasn't worked out. So I know he's ready to go. Yeah, number 16 Utah at number 19 Arizona. Arizona is the big surprise in the Pac-12. I know they got the Hawaiian quarterback that I saw at Wazoo when he was a true freshman. I think his name is Delora. He's good. He's one of those Hawaiian quarterbacks that's probably going to be in the NFL, man. I mean, he is good. And there's another Hawaiian quarterback that's playing for Oregon State that was playing at Clemson, the Ugavele, whatever. I can't say his name, but he took over for, Trevor Lawrence at Clemson in his freshman year. And now he's playing at Oregon State. And he's playing really well. So that's a tough one. Mike, I think Utah will bounce back even though they're playing at Arizona. My pick is Utah somehow will squeak this one out. Arizona's having a really good year. I think Utah is still really tough, like you said. I don't think they're going to lose 2 in a row. I got Utah.
Yeah, Utah playing that the Desert Sword, man. Colorado gave Arizona a scare the other last week. They almost should have won that game, to be frank with you. But that should be a good game at Arizona at their place. But no, I'm gonna have to take Utah on that one. I mean, they're pretty much that power running. They take their time. They're physical. Yeah. Utah should win that one at Arizona.
Yeah, I think they'll win it. The last the last college game before we get into NFL stuff, number 1 Georgia or number 2 Georgia at either number 20 or 21 Tennessee. We know Tennessee isn't as good as they were last year, but they're still good. I mean, Georgia's supposed to show up. I mean, they can't just think they're automatically going to win this game. And and like we already said, they've been winning a lot of close games this year, except for last week. They blew out Ole Miss. I don't know if they can blow 2 teams out in a row or not. We'll see. Maybe they finally woke up and they can do it. Obviously, I got Georgia winning it, but I would love to see Tennessee pull off the upset. My heart says Tennessee, but my head is saying Georgia will win this game.
Man, Georgia sure made a statement last Saturday, for sure.
Yeah, they did.
we weren't the only ones talking about it. I've been hearing the experts talk about it as well, how they're not as dominant, and they got tired of hearing it. And I expect them to roll Tennessee again.
Yeah, you
To
could be
win
right.
big. I do.
And they've beaten the crap out of Tennessee in recent years, except for maybe
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
Last year, Tennessee finally had a good football team. 2 years in a row, Tennessee's been good, which has been a while. They've been good 2 years in a row. But yeah, I think Georgia could. It could be a close game, or it could be another butt whooping, like you said, if Georgia woke up. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But Tennessee has come out strong, though. They can't get down big early, because if not, it's game over.
Yeah.
We'll
That's
see how
tough. That's gonna be
Tennessee
tough.
comes out. It is at Tennessee, so hopefully that helps them come out to a good start to make it a game. So we'll see.
In Knoxville, that's different, but I still expect Georgia to win that game.
Yeah, it's
For
at
some reason I thought
Tennessee.
it was in Georgia, but
It's in
okay.
Knoxville. That's why I have.
Okay.
So it helps. But I still
yeah,
think Georgia will
you're
work
right.
it out.
Yep.
All right. NFL talk.
Oh boy.
Before we get into, well, there's all kinds of things we talk about. There's Josh Dobbs. There's all kinds of things, man. But let's get into this Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce romance thing. What the heck is going on
Lord.
with that? These Swifties, man. Let's entertain your friend, your coworker, who, by the way, thank you. She subscribed. She says she doesn't know anything about football, but she likes the Taylor Swift Kelce thing. So let's talk about this.
Appreciate that, Maria. Thank you. Oh man. Well, I thought this was a publicity stunt. I didn't think anything would come of this until I found out that he went. Where was she, in Buenos Aires,
Yes.
Argentina, last Saturday?
Yeah.
And he was there. I'm like, okay, no man's gonna do that for a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. That's for sure. But man, no, that's for real, man. He was sitting with her dad and all that, and their parents, and so yeah, it's a real thing. I'm sure the women who never watched football in their lives are fascinated by this. I mean, it's they're NFL's
Yeah, my
getting
wife
more
is saying the
fans,
same thing.
Great. Oh, really?
I mean, she doesn't know. She doesn't know. She knows Taylor. She just knows about it, because I mentioned it to her. So yeah. So all the women like this. Not all women, but I know a lot of women like this because this is something fun for them. And I think like, oh my God, they're so cute, they're adorable. And yeah, she mentioned something. My wife just knows. My wife, even though my wife is Japanese and doesn't know much about football, she knows about Taylor Swift because she knows Taylor Swift is an icon. So she knows who she is, because she hears about it all the time. So, yeah, so she's aware, put it that way. But she's like, you definitely got my wife's like, you definitely got mentioned in your show. I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think it's serious too because she even changed the lyrics in her song, saying something about karma, and he comes back home to me every night, kind of thing, kind of deal. Like, yeah, so yeah, what she said, like, see this guy, because he was at the concert, like you said. What she did was, see this guy on the screen right there. This guy comes home to me every night, and then, so yeah, she's serious. Yeah, they're serious. Yeah. They're like these lovebirds right now, man.
As long as it's not a distraction for Kelce. I mean, team's doing okay.
Yeah,
they're going to move to the playoffs. He's still one of the best tight ends in the game, if not the best. But as long as it's not a distraction for him, it's pretty good for the NFL.
It seems like it's not a distraction so far. I mean, they do have 2 losses. Yeah. They also got 7 wins. They're still one of the better teams in football. They're still the defending Super Bowl champions. I think he's still balling out. I don't think he's letting. I think he's too good, and he's older. He's not a young kid. I mean, he's in his 30s, right. So he's mature enough to not let the romance affect his football. So I think he's not 22 years old. He's not a kid, or not a kid, but a young man. So he's I think he's older than that. So he's better. He's like in his mid 30s. So
mature now. So yeah, he can handle it.
He's past all.
He
that.
has been. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Josh Dobbs and the jobs he's doing with Minnesota. My goodness, Minnesota is on the map.
Wow.
Oh,
what did he do in college? He's some kind of scientist or something?
He's like some kind of aerodynamics, something. He's like one of the smartest guys ever to play in the NFL, probably.
Wow. Those are usually offensive
4.0 GPA, University of Tennessee. He's in the aero something. I know the guy's like crazy smart. He could do another job if he doesn't have football. There's no doubt.
No.
I mean,
no.
He's like a tech guy. He'll be making a lot of money either way. He's very, very smart, man.
Man, I was getting on Dallas' case for losing to Josh Dosby with Arizona, but man, he found a home in Minnesota. That's for sure. Man, playing
Yeah.
lights out. I don't believe they've lost since he's been there, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he came
So,
in when their
man,
backup got hurt. He just got signed a couple days before that last week, and they won the game. And then he started
yes,
this game. I think the guy's still in concussion protocol, but even if he's not, the poor backup, nothing against him, but Josh Dobbs is playing so good right now. That backup,
no,
I feel so kind of bad for him too because he had his chance and he got hurt, which isn't his fault. But he's not going to
right.
come back in unless Dobbs gets hurt because
Wow.
they're not gonna take Dobbs out until the wheels fall off. Man, the way he's
Yeah.
playing. So
And this is without Justin Jefferson.
yes, yes, that's even crazier.
So wait till he gets back. Watch out. Watch out.
Yeah, exactly. Watch out.
Yeah.
All right. Like I mentioned at the start of the show, 4 or 5 game-winning field goal kicks. It was insane this weekend. I know the Seahawks game, they won by field goal kick. Cleveland Browns versus Ravens game, they won by field goal kick. Last night's game, with the
Yes.
penalty, they won by field goal kick. He missed the first one.
Yeah.
But he made the second one because of 12 men on the field. So Denver's won 3 in a row now, and they beat Buffalo in Buffalo last night. That's the third one. Then there's a couple more out there. Houston Texans won by a field goal.
Houston. Boy, how about that quarterback for Houston?
Yeah.
Man, I wasn't
Stroud
expecting that.
by far the reigning rookie of the year right now.
Oh,
I mean,
easy. He's got it.
Easy.
Yeah.
But there is 2 tight ends playing really well. Laporta for Detroit, and then the tight end last night, Kincaid, had another touchdown catch, and he's on my fantasy. He's kicking butt for me. I won my fantasy. But yeah, those 2 tight ends are playing really well. But the problem is like that quarterback in Houston, man, he has turned that thing around for them. And yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing what he's doing.
Yeah, well, I always play QB. This Richardson, Indianapolis was my rookie of the year pick, but yeah, he got hurt. He's out for the season, and man, Stroud just balling out, man. Went into Cincinnati and beat him.
Yeah.
Man, I never would have thought that. Man,
yeah, I
went
agree.
to their place and beat him. Man, you got Dalton Schultz from Dallas who's playing well. Noah Brown, who played with Dallas, who was sorry in Dallas, playing well there with that quarterback. So yeah, he's making these players better. So man, something to watch.
I agree. Dallas blew out the Giants like we thought. Only thing I never really thought they'd lose, but the only thing I was worried about was since they know they're playing against a bad team, like if they would just kind of show up flat.
Yeah.
But they took care of business again.
Yep.
They won.
They did what they were supposed to do. I'm proud of them. That's good. They just need to keep rolling.
Yep. I was just glad because they needed to win that game, and they got Carolina next week, so they need to win this one. I mean, they're still an NFL team. I do think Carolina will get a couple more wins under the belt. This can't be against our Cowboys. If the Cowboys win the Carolina game and get up to 7-3, I'll be really happy because we know after that the season gets really hard, and they'll probably drop a couple of these games. They might win out, you never know, but they could very easily drop 2 or 3 of these games. So they need to get to 7-3 in case they lose a couple down the stretch.
Yes.
The Browns game, before we get into some picks, they were down big. I thought the Ravens were going to run away with it again the way the game started, but then they just came storming back in the fourth quarter and they won the game, man. Did you see that game?
No, I didn't, but I was keeping tabs on it. This is one of those typical AFC North matchups where, man, these 4 teams know each other like the back of their hand. I mean, if you're picking games, this is one you stay away from because the Browns know the Ravens so well.
Yeah.
The Browns defense is a good defense, one of the best in the league. Lamar Jackson will throw interceptions. He will put the ball in harm's way if you put pressure on him. So, I expected the Ravens to win, but I'm not surprised that the Browns won because it's
I think we both picked Ravens, but we said it'd be close. Yeah. I didn't know how to turn out. I didn't know which way to go on that one. I knew that was a hard one. We were both told that, but they just really came. They just came storming back in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
I know. Lamar Jackson threw a pick 6 in the fourth quarter to make it closer to get them within striking distance. That was a big play by the Cleveland Browns defensive back to get the game within 1 score. That put them right there. Yeah. So at one point it was like 31-17, but then that pick six was huge for Cleveland.
Yeah, I thought it was over when I checked the score, and I looked again, and man, Cleveland was driving to win the game. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those typical division matchups that you never know.
Yep. All right, let's get into some picks, man. We're off to a good start. We got more time than usual, which is good.
Nice.
We're not rushing into these things. Thursday night football, Bengals at the Ravens. Do you think? I think the Ravens will bounce back, and the Bengals did lose this week. They might lose 2 in a row. The Bengals. I was surprised the Bengals lost, but
Yeah.
to Houston, but yeah. But I think Ravens will probably get this one on Thursday night football. That's be another good game for Thursday night football. That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, another one of those AFC North Division matchups. And man, after that heartbreaker that Baltimore had against Cleveland, I expect them to come out firing this game.
Yeah, they come out on fire last game. They just didn't hold on.
Yeah. So it's going to be tough. Cincinnati has a pretty decent defense as well.
They do.
Could be a low-scoring game. Many of these games are low-scoring with this division. They're tough, hard-nosed teams. The Pittsburghs, the Clevelands. Normally they have that history, but I might expect the same thing here. I don't see either team scoring 30 points. It might be a tough game here. But I expect Baltimore to win.
Yeah, I expect Baltimore to win, but I won't be surprised how the Bengals squeaked it out with Joe Cool. But I'm sticking with the Ravens too, the home team. Steelers at Browns. That's be another good game. But I got the Browns. Steelers are playing better. Their offense is doing a little bit better than they were earlier, but they're still not playing great in offense. I know that backup running back is having a really good. He's having a field day. He's helped them out tremendously. Their second back, Najee Harris is doing okay too, but that second back is really playing well. But I got the Browns. Deshaun Watson's back. Amari Cooper. They got like I said, the Browns defense, one of probably the best in the league. I think the Browns will win. It'll be a close game, just like you said with Ravens. Bengals. Probably low. That'll be another low scoring game. In my opinion.
Yeah, and you just said a minute ago, Deshaun Watson. He's playing like Deshaun Watson now. I was a little worried about him. He had that long time off. Didn't play too well when he came back last season, and that's due to rest because he was been out for so long. Started off slow this season, but he seemed to have found his rhythm. So, yeah, I expect him to help the Browns pull this one off barely. Another low-scoring defensive dogfight, so I expect here. So, yeah, picking the Browns by like 3 points. Another field goal win.
Raiders at Dolphins. Dolphins are the better team on paper, but they don't beat good teams. I'm not saying the Raiders are a good team, but they're playing better with that coach since they fired Josh McDaniels and they got Antonio Pierce in there now, like you mentioned last week. I'm going with the upset with the Raiders, man. I'm riding the Raiders wave. I know the Dolphins are good. They got really explosive offense, but I know how these guys are the second half of the season. They always start off really hot, get your hopes up, then they just tail off like the last 4 or 5 games of the year. So this is where I'm thinking the Dolphins are going to start their downhill slide. They still might make it to the playoffs. They could prove me wrong, but I'm going Raiders, man. I'm going Raiders on this one.
Man, I like how Antonio Pierce has Las Vegas Raiders playing. Man, they're physical. Man, I was watching part of that game. They get after the ball. That defense is something else. But it's going to be a tough task to ask. Cross country going all the way to Miami.
Yeah.
Early game. That's the only reason why I'm picking Miami. It's going to be a tough task to travel that far.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm still sticking with my pick, though. We have a very good point.
Yeah, I'm a little iffy on that one. But, yeah, I kind of like how you mentioned the upset. But, no, just because Miami, on paper, is a better team, I'm picking Miami.
They are. They got the offense. I know that. I just know how they are in the second half of the season. Bears at Lions. I got the Lions all the way. Bears are playing a little bit better. They won last Thursday night's football their D2 guy is playing good.
Yes.
He's won 2 games for them, which is something, but I got the Lions. The Lions are playing too good of football right now to lose to the Bears. Yeah, and not at home. Yeah. Not at home.
Yeah, no, I expect the Lions to win. Ooh, they're favored by what? 8.5? I can barely see that. 8.5, 9.5. I expect them to cover that. Yeah, the Lions shouldn't have any problems.
Titans at Jaguars. The Jaguars were hot. They had won 5 in a row, but they got cooled off. San Francisco finally got back to playing like San Francisco last week, and they got their butts kicked pretty good. I was watching the first half of that game, but I think the Jaguars are bounced back because Tennessee Titans just aren't doing good at all this year.
No. Henry got me a whole 3 points in fantasy.
I know. I was so upset with him. Same with me. I still won my game because other guys went off. Thank God.
Yeah. So man, I have him in my keeper league. He's going downhill. I probably won't keep him next year, but yeah. I'm gonna have to pick the Jaguars after that whooping they took from San Francisco. They're gonna bounce back at home.
I think they'll bounce back. Yeah. San Francisco has finally played like San Francisco. They finally got off that 3-game losing streak. Chargers at Packers. I think Jordan Love is playing okay. They did lose last week, but they won the week before. He's kind of up and down, but I like his talent. But that's a hard one because I think the Chargers are the better team, but their defense is kind of weird. Their defensive line is really good, and I know the Washington Commanders guy just got traded there, and they both had multiple sacks last week against the Jaguars. Their defensive line is good, but their secondary isn't good. Their defensive line can take care of business and they can win some games, but their secondary can get absolutely torched.
Yes.
So I don't know how to pick that one. I think Chargers are better, and I know the Packers are missing Aaron Rodgers, but Jordan Love is a talented guy. I mean, he may have a bad year this year, but I think next year I'm expecting him to have a really good year. So I don't know who to pick. I'm gonna go with home team Packers, man, because that's a hard game for the Chargers, and that's a long way away from home, and like you mentioned about the other game. So I know it's kind of an upset, even though they're at home, but I'm picking Packers.
I'm gonna take the Packers. Aaron Jones is finally healthy. He's been running well.
Yes, absolutely, make big difference.
Like you mentioned, the Chargers defensive front, they're tough, but he could do well against that defense. Shoot. I got the Packers barely.
Upset.
Barely. If you want to call that an upset.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's really an upset, but the Chargers are probably favored. Cardinals at Texans. I got the Texans all the way. The way C.J. Stroud's playing, like we had mentioned, like I know old boy's back for Arizona, Murray, and they won last week with him. Kyle Murray coming back. That's so good for him, but I don't think they're going to win against the Texans, but it should be a very fun, entertaining game. I think it's going to be closer than what people think since Murray's back, but I think I got the Texans on that one.
Man, that should be a shootout. Both of these quarterbacks like to throw that ball downfield. I would love to see this game. Man, but yeah, I'm going to take the Texans at home. They're rolling.
They're rolling big time right now. Yeah, it's hard to go against them right now. Our Cowboys at the Panthers. Obviously, we got the Cowboys. They should win big as long as they don't fall asleep. But I really like the Alabama rookie quarterback. He hasn't played bad this year. He did have a bad week, not last week, but the week before. He had the 2 pick sixes, which hurt them. But he didn't play bad in Thursday night's game against the Bears. They don't have enough pieces around him right now.
Right.
So it's not him. I think they just don't have no one. They have to build around him. But I got the Cowboys should blow them out.
Yeah. Dallas shouldn't have any problems, like you mentioned. Yeah, Panthers are just rebuilding. They got a couple of veterans. They have Adam Thielen, the receiver from Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota.
He's doing well for that team.
He is. They just don't have enough besides him.
Yeah. So, Dallas just needs to keep playing the way they're playing, and they shouldn't have any trouble.
Okay. Skip over a couple of games. We got most of them down. Let's go to Seahawks at Rams and close with Sunday Night Football. Seahawks at Rams. I think Seahawks are going to get some revenge on this one.
Yeah. I like how they're another team that's playing pretty well. Seattle. Yeah, I got them to win this game as well.
Yeah. Vikings at Broncos. Broncos are playing a lot better, man. My goodness. They won 3 in a row, like we mentioned. They're up to 4 and 5. They're feeling really good themselves. Russell Wilson looked like Russell Wilson last night.
Yeah, he played well.
He played really good.
Yeah, ran the ball a lot, man.
But they did run the ball. He looked a lot better. But that Josh Dobbs story, man. Can the Vikings win at the Broncos? I'm going to say yes, they can. I think Josh Dobbs is going to do it again. I
expect Dobbs to keep it rolling. That should be a fun matchup to watch. But I would like to see Minnesota win this game.
I hope they do, because they do, man. The story will continue. But all right, folks, that's it for the night. We won't be able to get in the Monday night for under a minute, but as always, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and we'll be back next week for more picks and more analysis. Got anything, Monty?
Yes. If you have any ideas, let us know. Appreciate your support, and let's go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys! How about them boys?